Well, welcome to another live session, the second of the week, Mike. What can we do? We've dragged you out your bed for the second time this week. I say out your bed because is this about time? What time you get up? Is it, Mike?
Well, I've just got back from Disneyland. I've got some Mickey Mouse ears. Now I'm having some work done on the house, as you know, and obviously trying to keep it respectable. I've put the headphones on, so hopefully you can all hear me.
We can indeed.
And I've been up since 6:30 this morning. Thank you very much, Jamie. How rude.
AM or PM. Right, okay, so usual format is it's just you and I on the screen. We introduce our guests. As this is a special this week, we have our brand new partners, Crown Records Management, join us today. We have the lovely Michelle and the wonderful Anthony. So could you both introduce yourselves? We'll start with you if you don't mind, Michelle.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Michelle Kermath. I'm head of technology, that's a mouthful, technology and consultancy at Crown Records Management. What more do you want to know than that?
No, we'll get to know you as we go along.
A bit more, yeah.
Indeed. And Anthony, do you want to introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Head of Enterprise Content Management, or ECM, at Crown Records Management. Now 6 months in. It's a new venture for the business. Crown as a business has been around 50, 60 years, but digital and content management and streamlining is the way forward for us. So I was fortunate enough to be brought in and head that up. Previous with you, Jamie and Mike, from days gone by, and was keen to re-engage and get things going. So again, thanks for having us, and looking forward to more of this.
Thank you, Anthony. And for the audience watching, which I know they are, we were going to trick you. We were going to change our names today. So Anthony was going to be me and vice versa, to see if anybody could notice the difference other than the accent. We didn't do it in the end, but there we go. So as Anthony mentioned, actually, a bit of a story here for you, Mike. Our very first conference, Anthony and his business that he worked for at that point were a headline sponsor. So he's known the format. He's worked with us on several occasions, and it's wonderful to have you back in the family. And obviously, we're interested in finding all about Crown Records. So it's the first time we've worked with you guys as the APA. And I know the focus for today is a couple of things, really. One, this week we've welcomed you to the family, as I say. We've put your focus day, which was earlier this week, which I know we've had lots of great interaction. And also, I know that we're doing a series of masterclasses with yourself. So why don't we start there? We'll start with the masterclass. So we've got a first one coming up soon. I'm not going to announce the date. It'll be down below somewhere. So, Michelle, do you want to give us an outline of what we're going to talk? I think it's about a roadmap, if I'm right.
It is. We talk about it's about how you get to the end result of a more efficient process, really. So it's a starting point. Understand where you're at, what your current position is, and the steps that you need to take to understand what your better, more efficient future state process would be in the future. And the masterclass is around our way of thinking, through our years of experience and different industries, quite a defined and easy way of doing that to get to that end result.
Perfect. And Anthony, obviously from our standpoint, it's a big area of where we're sort of driving our audience down, which is the education, the masterclass. And it's the first time you'll have done one of these with us. What bits are you looking forward to the most? Is it the engagement? Is it the learning? Because the thing with the masterclass, it's a two-way learning, isn't it? It's your expertise and it's our audience engaging. So it's a two-way learning. So what are you looking forward to most?
I think it's helping individuals understand the why. Too many times through this platform and many others, people have been told technology is the route forward, and look how brilliant it is, look how shiny it is, it does all these brilliant things for you. But has anybody ever actually asked the question as to why those things are important to you? And we bring an element of expertise, to Michelle's point, around how you engage, how you get those things out of the department and your process and the people involved and the problems and the good and the bad and the technologies. We bring all of that, but what your members bring is an accounts payable story to that, and what's relevant to them. How is it important to them? What are the things that they need? We can't bring that to the party. Your members have to bring that. So between us, we can help you get to the point of a more efficient and a more effective process that's relevant to you and doesn't have to be a carbon copy of what somebody else has done. So I guess to answer your question, I'm looking forward to bringing our expertise and what that really means to you, to the party, and then I'm looking forward to the feedback from members as to how that might be relevant to them, and what we may have missed, what we may not have considered, and what we could adapt so that it is more relevant to them.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point, actually, because, you know, I've been on webinars previously, and don't get me wrong, there's some exceptional webinars, and I've been on masterclasses, and a lot of the time I'm on a masterclass, and it's somebody spouting and giving you their expertise, and it doesn't feel as though it's a two-way thing. And I think the idea of a masterclass, and it's to both your point, Michelle, Anthony, is that it is a two-way thing. It's got to be, you know, you've got years of experience, don't get me wrong, you know, but our audience, our members have also, and it's about marrying those two bits of experience together. So then you have, like, the whole theme, it is about a roadmap, and the roadmap is a journey, isn't it? It's, you start somewhere, you want to get somewhere and complete something, and in the middle you've got sort of a series of steps. So this is why I'm really keen and looking forward to the very first one we'll do in the series with yourself, because a lot of our audience, as you probably will know, are at different stages of the journey. Some people are, you know, actually quite educated and quite far down, but actually might not be working as effectively as they wish it to. So they might want to go back a step or two or reflect. Some are just at the very early stages. They're trying to map out what this could look like. And let's be honest, with the last 2 years, and I'm trying to avoid using keywords that what sort of
the C word.
The C word, absolutely. So I'm trying to avoid that. But we've all gone through a bit of a challenging time. So now it is all about what can we do as a community to support everybody, whether you're large, small, or, you know, sort of small businesses. All of our members, if you like, have got similar ethos and, you know, sort of what wants out of what they want from partners and from their processes. And it is under that theme of probably doing a little more with a little less. That's the challenge they will have. But actually, it's how do they shape that? And that's what I think this whole masterclass will be. And I think, Michelle, that's what we're going to aim, isn't it? We're going to talk through some of the stages and the steps through the masterclass of how you get to build a roadmap.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, everybody is busy doing their day job, aren't they? Ultimately, everybody's got a job to do, and then you can understand that there's something not working quite right here, or you know, it takes too long, or you know, it costs too much money, or whatever the issues are. But it's the roadmap is to understand that actually there's more to than just each isolated little bits, and the roadmap helps you pull all of those threads together and end up going down the same road. And I think that's the benefit of it, is how someone can look at it holistically rather than just in isolation. So so yeah, masterclass is literally about that, about how we can pull all those strands together and bring an end result that suits everybody that touches that process.
And if I may, it's not just about what it consists of and why you should do it. It's also looking at the reasons why you shouldn't do it, and also because, and this is a fear as well, whether you're buying technology or whether you're buying consultancy, is time. How much time is this going to take me? How much effort am I going to have to put in to achieve this end result? And in particular with the business process reviews that we offer, that's minimal. It's days. And we plan that in advance with you so that you know what your expectations are. I'm kind of stealing the thunder of the roadmap of the masterclass here a little bit, but it's about making people feel comfortable with that this isn't going to cost thousands and thousands of pounds, and it isn't going to take me 6 months to get a result. Depending on the size of your department, depending on what you're trying to achieve, it can be a matter of days. So joining the masterclass and understanding the key differences and what's involved in that will be a great way to help you feel comfortable that that is the right approach for you.
Yeah, and you know what? I think the way you just summed that up, Antony, is spot on. And yes, I know there's elements of that in the masterclass. I'm sure there's an awful lot more we'll talk about. But sure, the idea really is that, yes, sometimes you've got to assess whether it's actually the right thing to do in you know, you can have your finance director pushing you, saying, look, go make this process more effective. I want people out the door and all this good stuff. But sometimes you've got to reflect on whether it's the right thing for you to do. But then also, if it is, you've still got to map that out, and you've got to not only cost it, you know, let's be honest, over the last 10 years or so, I think everybody uses ROI as an influence and say, look, we can get you a return on investment if you spend this amount of money. I think, you know, with the last 2 years, that's not as big an issue as it once was. This is all about efficiency, people. Is it right for our business? Does it move our business forward? You know, strategically, does it move us forward? And I think that's what you yourselves will give us through that masterclass, because that whole business process review and that little bit of consultancy that you offer in those few days that you get, your early adoption days, will mean an awful lot. Because, the days of bringing in very expensive consultants to do a full business review, which takes months, and they come back and go, oh, it's what you already knew. That doesn't help anybody. What you need is somebody that yes, okay, there'll be a slight slant, to say, look, we think you should improve your processes and whatever it will be. But actually, it's an honest view as well, which is, I know what you've been sort of saying, both yourself and Michelle, about that's what you want to do and get through the masterclass.
We want to try.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, sorry, Ant. It's about
go on.
It's about being open-minded. It's not going in and doing a review with what you think the end solution is going to be. It's not about going in and saying that technology is going to solve these issues, because I think I always get this quote wrong. Okay, but Bill Gates has a quote which is something around automation applied to an inefficient process just magnifies inefficiency. So before you even go down the road of automation or technology, let's have a look at what the process is and make that as efficient as possible. Then you'll understand what the solution might be at the end, and it might not even be a technical or technology. And
while at the end of our process there is a technology that we can offer, that doesn't mean to say that Michelle and her team are going to say that that's the right thing for you to buy. If it's not the right thing to do, or you already have applications within your business that you can utilize and strengthen your investment that you've already made in that, so be it. There's no obligation to buy any technology from us. If at the end of that story we say you don't need it, you're fine, you're operating if you change this or you encourage this from a technology perspective in what you've already got, crack on. You don't need to buy something new. So yeah, it will be an interesting watch. I think it will give people a lot of insight and a lot of confidence in the principles of understanding more and understanding the why before you even think about the what.
Yep, I totally agree, and I'm going to have the pleasure of joining you for the masterclass. So maybe you'll teach me a thing or two as well. But so it's really exciting to be hosting that with yourselves. And I mentioned earlier, so we're going to do this as a series. So we've got another one planned for early part of next year, which will be a follow-on, throughout the year. And again, I go back to my earlier point that one of the things that we've spent 2 years in virtual world for a little while, and we've done our very best as the APA to try and educate, entertain, keep our audience engaged wherever we possibly can. Yes, next year we've got lots of live events planned, but actually there is always going to be a space for masterclasses where people can educate themselves as well as then inform others of what they're doing. It's that two-way conversation, which I think Michelle and Antony, you both mentioned. So just before we go on, I'm going to ask Mike in a second to sort of do his usual thing around about what's planned for the rest of the year. But in terms of, in case somebody didn't watch earlier this week, in terms of your day, just give us a flavour of all the things that Crown do, if you don't mind, Antony and Michelle, just so that they get a flavour of the years in business that you guys have been around. What other things you do, other applications, just in case one of our audience might want to reach out.
Sure. Crown Records Management is part of Crown Worldwide Group, and within that there are multiple different business units. We have a fine arts department, we have a workspace department that helps you regenerate and potentially move your office space. We relocate individuals from one organization to from one area of an organization to another from a geographic perspective. And then we have the records management piece where Michelle and I sit. 60 plus years we've been helping organizations manage their information, which, brutally honest, has been storing documents in a box in a warehouse somewhere. I think no one will mind me saying that's not the future. And so fortunately Crown have been looking into the future and thinking from a digital standpoint, we need to move more into that space. So we now offer our enterprise content management technology suite, which in its most simplistic sense is digitizing and automating business processes. We're talking about accounts payable here, but that could be HR, it could be procurement, it could be a mailroom process, it could be a bespoke piece of operating elements that you have within an organization, a manufacturing process, for example. But ultimately, we give you more control and visibility of your information, of your data, of your processes, and then we offer analytics at the end of it, so you can better understand how that's affecting your business operationally, how it's affecting it financially, etc. That's one part of what we do. The other part, which Michelle runs, is very much a consultancy base. So we've spoken about the reviews that we do, where we come in and we look at your existing processes, etc. But then it's what we do with the technology and implementing it, supporting it, making sure that once you go live, you've got a team of people there to help you make sure that it's doing everything we said it would. So I guess, to shorten that, we're a consultancy organization that sells technology, but our core principles are about outcomes for you, how you're operating as a business, the impact it's going to have on your strategy of growth, sustainability, remote working. There's lots of different areas that we can touch on. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah. Sorry.
Can I add to that? The synergies of Crown is that over the years, you can really see how Crown has built on its expertise. Yes, it started with information in boxes, and then it learned how to scan them, and then people are using them in the office. We use the offices differently. So there's a real logical path in which Crown have gone, and every area has just grown in its expertise. And there's now the path under that is, if you take workspace, it's about what furniture or machines you have and how you can reuse, recycle, and the sustainable message now across all 5 or the groups within Crown. So there's been a real logical path that Crown has gone through, and every area has just learned more and more, and they link together quite a lot. So it's quite a nice sort of family or group of companies that work.
Can I say something really cheesy?
Mm-hmm.
It's all with our customers in mind. There we go.
I'm not going to say you let yourself down, but yes, that was quite cool.
I'm going to jump in. I mean,
stop me now.
No, I mean, yeah, everything. I think the events of the last couple of years, as Jamie mentioned, has forced the conversations that may have been planned for some time but never really happened. And your approach across a business, working collaborative and seeking to understand, is really what's contributed to you becoming nominated for a forthcoming award, I believe. That's coming up, I think, later this month. And as an up and comer in this space, I think you're making quite an impact, aren't you?
Nice plug, mate. Thank you. Yeah, we have been awarded. Sorry, not awarded. That was very presumptuous of me. We have been nominated via the Document Management magazine for, I think, 26 awards in total. We're quite keen, in particular, on being, as we're Crown as a digital entity are the new boys and girls on the block. And so we're quite keen and hopeful that we'll be acknowledged as ones to watch for the future, because Crown has invested significantly in people and in processes and in technology to make this the future of the business. So we're here to stay, but anyone that fancies going on and giving us a cheeky nomination would be greatly appreciated.
We'll
26 of them.
we'll be sure to put the links down below. But I mean, just thinking about next year, actually, as Jamie and I and the team have spent the last few days looking at how to really deliver the best access to our community for partners seeking to engage and have those positive conversations and to learn together in an environment that is productive. And I know you're going to be supporting a number of the events that we've got coming up next year. We're going to be publishing our calendar of events next year, which include conferences and regional update sessions and masterclasses around a number of core topics. So, like I say, I will be, this series that we're launching on now, the masterclass we're doing on the 16th of November and the one later early next year in February, is just the start of an engagement path that will see many of our members engaging with you and sharing their problems and pain points with you throughout the year. So yeah, more to come on that. Obviously, we've not announced that calendar yet, but yeah, welcome to the APA community again as Crown, and we look forward to a great year.
Cheers, Mike. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting in front of some people. And as we said right at the beginning, this is as much about us understanding what's important and the current issues or things that are going well within the AP community, as it is us giving insight as to how we might be able to help in any context that's relevant.
And I think, just before we wrap up for today, I think what's interesting, again, you talk about the Crown Records growth, and obviously it's investing in different areas. But I think, we're big advocates of taking things back to basics. The AP world, get your basics right, and then the rest will sort of will work for it. And I think with your approach, that's sort of where you are. Get your basics right, get your process right before you try and re-engineer it, with automation. And also, let's be honest, with the new way of working and people working in hybrid situations, who better to actually look at infrastructures and organizations, structures, and how you move people around and make that sustainable, so you're not sort of impacting, so it's not just about the cost of buildings anymore, it's about the improvements that people can make to their businesses. I'm pretty sure that you're geared up for that as well. So you're in a good position in both, but obviously very selfishly from the AP world, we're keen to understand this whole new division, and we're keen to work with you in terms of what the roadmap looks like for yourselves. So be keen to look on these series so we can then educate and push that out to our members as you continue to grow within our industry as well. So thank you for joining us, one, as a partner, but two, on this educational series. I think it's going to be exceptional.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
Right, Mike. So we're going to wrap up today. We'll let both Anthony and Michelle go back and, I don't know, have a glass of red wine on a Friday afternoon. I don't know what their days look like, but it's been a fabulous day. Have we got anything planned for next week that we need to let the audience know before we wrap up for today? Oh, he's on mute. There we go. I told you I can mute him every so often.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, no, obviously we've got the masterclass coming up on the 16th of November. We will be announcing shortly our calendar of events. I'm not sure whether the team will have that pulled together for release on next week's session. Hopefully, yes. If not, then there'll be a few teasers and a few we've got some guest speakers coming up throughout the next few months. We'll be able to announce some of those shortly. But no, as far as we're concerned, we're pushing forward into obviously the remainder of this year and looking forward positively to more face-to-face and getting out and meeting everybody and talking together in 2022. And that continues to be our focus now till towards the end of the year.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, look, thank you everybody for taking the time today.
Cheers, Jamie.
It's lovely to meet you both. Again, work with you again, and we're looking forward to the masterclass and the series. And more importantly, we'll meet face to face. We'll go and get some beers or coffees, whatever it will be. So thank you for taking the time today.
We'll do a spot the difference tournament, mate. We'll stand next to each other. We'll have a photo and we'll do spot the difference.
Yes. So for anybody that doesn't know Antony, I've not met him, he actually isn't much difference in height either. So he makes me look like a bit of a giant as well. So, but that's a giveaway, Antony. So we'll let them figure it out when we meet in person. But thank you very much for taking the time today, and we'll catch up again soon.
Good on you, gents. Thanks, everyone.